You probably have someone in your district, don't you? Because they have all those reenactors.
Because you can't offer the report without the forensics and they're testifying. And that's so that's a real problem.
You already have to do it. This is expanding.
I mean, I agree with you. I already
Mr. Chair, Delegate Bell. Mr. Chair, so we've been informed that Senator Chafin is not available. That said, this came out 9-1. I'm not sure how strongly the one felt about it, but this would allow for video testimony, not at trial. Some of the other things we have surrounding a trial, like preliminary hearing, it would be done by either side, and it was brought by Senator Chafin, who made it very clear just how hard it was for some of the more rural courts to get people to actually come. It, as written, would help either side. We thought a long time about it being a prosecutor bill, but also would help defendants get expert witness testimony in a cost-effective way. You know, this is the two-way videos and permits cross-examination. Counsel advised us there are no constitutional issues as long as they're able to make the cross-examination work, and that's what the bill did. We reported it out 9-1, and Delegate Adams, I don't recall if he would like to walk us through the objection, if he kind of decided it's a better idea than he thought.
Delegate Astor. Well, I don't have particularly strong feelings about it, but I do think, I mean, I just don't really like going down the road of more and more exceptions of non-live testimony. I think there's some value to having in-person cross-examination. There's certain courtroom responses that are different from a video response, and that's just sort of my basic objection to it. I don't think it's the end of the world, but I don't think the value of saving a few bucks or a few continuances is worth going down this. I think it should only be those extraordinary cases, such as where you have a child victim, that sort of thing, where we go outside the courtroom. That's my view of it.
Okay, Delegate Kilgore. Well, if I understand this bill in reading it, it only applies in preliminary hearings or sentencing hearing or any other hearing other than a trial. So it couldn't be something where somebody could be found guilty or innocent. It's just moving on to the next or where they've already been found guilty. Is that correct?
Mr. Chair, I tell the gentleman he is correct. It's not a trial. Now, he's done enough criminal work to know some pretty important things happen in prelim. So we're not trying to pretend that it's not an important step. But no, it's not the trial. It's for the other surrounding. We already do this for bonds, Mr. Chair, all the time.
But it could be for trial if offered by the accused. So it's preliminary hearing, any testimony offered by either party in a preliminary hearing or sentencing hearing, or offered by the accused in any hearing. Oh, other than
It's not the trial.
Okay. What is a hearing other than a trial that's not a preliminary or
Evidentiary hearing. You could have evidentiary hearing, bond hearing, motions.
Okay. Captain Posse.
So I would concur with Delegate Adams. I don't see the justification. I mean, what is he trying to fix?
Mr. Chair?
Let me get Delegate Bell answer the question.
It's for the courts. There's 3 hours from downtown Richmond and an hour from the next court over. That's the issue. And it's very, very hard. What's easy for Henrico or Chesterfield or Hanover or Richmond is very hard for us out in the sticks. And this makes it easier to get some testimony. And on either side, defendants can never get one of the forensic toxicologists to testify, and the Commonwealth has trouble with it.
Delegate Gilbert, then Kilgore.
Pass again. I'm sorry, I'm still reading.
Okay, Delegate Kilgore.
And I would say that you're try 6 hours in some of the courts, so it could help it could help both the prosecution and the defendant really. So.
Okay. Delegate, anybody else in the committee? Anybody members of the audience want to speak for or against the bill?
I would move to report.
Okay, move to report. Is there a second? Is there a second? All those who want to vote this bill indicate your vote in electronic voting board. All right, is Charnel still here? Okay, close the roll. 19 to 4. All right, now, is this our last bill?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, now listen. Heads up, please. Everybody listen to me. We need to thank our staff. I forgot to do it at the beginning of session, so here's what we're going to do. First, I'd like Dave Cotter to stand up and take a bow. Yay. Our counsel, Steve, you need to stand up, take a bow. Our counsel, Britt Olwine, stand up, take a bow. Our attorney, Emma Buck, stand up, take a bow. And our clerks, Jenica Quack, stand up, take a bow. Brian LaRochelle, stand up, take a bow. And Annie, our totally awesome clerk, who's the only person who can keep track of all you monkeys, crazy people. Yay! All right, so my last bill for this year, Senate Bill 865.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Bill.
Okay, Mr. Chair, this was a bill by Senator Stewart. It involves the transfer. There's a law that says you can't sell, barter, give, or furnish certain knives to a minor. And it said this subsection shall not apply to any transfer made between family members or for the purpose of engaging in a sporting event or activity. We had a discussion about it. Actually reported out 9-1. The one was you. Yeah. And I will so move.
Okay, does everybody understand the bill? Okay, any members of the committee have any questions or comments? Any members of the audience want to speak for or against the bill? Come on up.
Mr. Chairman, Andrew Goddard, Virginia Centre for Public Safety. First of all, I'd like to remind the committee that a dirk is a cross between a sword and a dagger. It's a thrusting weapon, and I can't think of why you would want to give one to a child for any reason. But the second problem with this bill is on line 16, there's the word or between family member and purpose of engaging in sporting or event or activity, which means those are an alternative. In other words, you could sell a dirk to a total stranger if they said that they wanted it for a sporting activity. And I think that's a problem. The problem has arisen because this was the same thing in the Section B, the existing Section B for firearms. I don't think people thought at the time that you should be allowed to sell a handgun to a minor who's not a relative if they said that they wanted it for a sporting reason. So I think that's, if we could get rid of the or and make it a family member for purpose of engaging. But the bottom line is, in any case, most of these weapons, other than probably the Bowie knife, are all designed as weapons. And do we really think that children are going to be doing sporting things with a stiletto or with a dirk? So we don't like the bill at all, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sadler, Virginia Citizens Defense League. We strongly support this bill. This very exemption is already in place for firearms. Parents furnish their children with firearms every day for the purpose of teaching them the appropriate respect. If we're doing it for guns, why in the world are knives an issue? I would also like to point out that push-button knives were not invented as combat weapons. In fact, the entire first half of the 20th century, they were available in every corner hardware store. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember corner hardware stores, but they did used to exist. And push button knives were kept right there on the shelf between the buck knives and the Swiss Army knives.
All right, anybody else? Okay, the members of the committee have any motions?
Mr. Chair, I move to report.
Second report, all those want to vote this bill indicate your vote, electronic voting board. I want to know. Okay, close the roll. Reports 12 to 9. Okay? Another special bill. All right, we have one other thing we gotta do.
Yeah, sorry. I'm tweeting, man.
Oh, wow.
No dirt, not against dirt.
Oh, my God.
Feel the love that's right for Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Mr. Chair,
We will miss the asbestos.
Mr. Chair, how many years was this room open? Tens of thousands of bills.
Over in the Hotel Richmond, and then this was all brought together.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair.
You know how to take a panorama with an iPhone?
Everyone set up straight and put your computers down. Names in, chest out.
All right,
Look up for
recess. All ready? Yeah, all right, ready. Being mic'd down.
Turn to the other side.
This is the only time our attention has been directed to the podium. Let's do two. All right, let's do another.
Bright light. Man, welcome aboard, y'all serious dudes down here.
Mr. Chair.
So at this moment, I am, I'm remembering, I have visions, and Vivian, you'll appreciate this because you were here, of Dickie Cranwell or Chip Woodrum walking back and forth, and Dickie could never sit down. He was in his turtleneck. And then,
not walk quietly.
right, and then having walkie-talkies, a famous story that the Republic put Republicans at each end, and they had walkie-talkies to talk to each other.
That was ambassadors.
Mr.
All
Chair.
right, yes, Delegate Gilbert.
Who's the senior member of the committee?
Probably me, I guess.
Just because of.
No, Vivian. Vivian had a break in service though. Were you on this before you became secretary?
No, because.
You were secretary?
You were secretary?
Public safety, public safety, and they decided that they needed a woman on the courts committee, so. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So by alphabet, I think you should make the motion to adjourn.
Okay.
All right. I mean, finally, the.
I'll tell you what. I'll let Kilgore do it. All right. And Kilgore seconds, right?
Seconds.
All right. All those in favor of adjourning indicate your adjournment on this electronic voting board. The ceremonial electronic voting board. All right.
Well, we vote no.